Hello, students. This is Mrs. Healy, your librarian, and I wanted to take a minute to show you around myON. You can get to myON on Clever, and it's a great tool for when libraries are closed but you still want to read. And I would hope and expect that each of you are taking time to read while you're out of school. And there's wonderful books on myON for you. So let me show you around. I've logged into my account. Your account will look a little different because you won't have this classroom part, probably. Um, so let me show you how to look for a book you might like. First off, if you click on recommended, it will show you some books that you might like based on your reading ability and your age level. It scrolls through some ideas right up at the top, and you can look at more by clicking the arrow if it's not moving fast enough for you. Then you can look down. It shows you some new books that we have in. And to get more, you can always click on the arrow to show you even more. Scrolling down a little further, it shows you books that are popular in your grade that other kids seem to read a lot. And again, you could click the button to see even more and more ideas. And then it asks you what you like. So I've selected I like monsters and mythical creatures. So it gives me some suggestions. But you can always change that. Say you like graphic novels and cartoons. You might want to choose one of those, or dinosaurs, and it gives you a selection of dinosaur books. So that's a quick way to find something that you quite like animal books or chapter books or colors or cooking or anything like that. And then at the bottom are just books in English. If English is not your first language and Spanish is, you can always select the Spanish button instead. Going back up to the top, you can also browse for a book. That's looking at all these different areas and seeing what you might like. This option is nice because you don't have to type anything in. You don't need to know how to spell anything. So say you wanted a book about genres, or you didn't even know what genres really means. If you click on genres, it breaks it up into even more subsettings. So say you might like fairy tales, or chapter books, or scary stories. You can click then on the thing that you like. I'm going to click on fairy tales because that's something that I enjoy. And then it shows me lots of famous fairy tales that I might want to read. Hansel and Gretel, for instance, is one of my favorites, so I might click on that and either add it to my favorite list or read it. I'm going to say start over. I guess I've read this book before. Start over. If the volume is too loud, you can bring it down or turn it off entirely. Um, this volume is nice because it reads the book to you. Let me try to turn it up a little bit so you can kind of see. If it doesn't start playing immediately, you can always press the play button or go back 10 seconds. Okay. You should notice right here we have a full screen button that will let it take up the whole page, and you can exit up here with a red button. To go to the next page, you just push the arrow. You can also press the pause button to stop the video at any time. Um, if this is not the book you were really thinking it was, you could push exit and go back to where you were. Um, if you've found books that you've saved and liked in the past, you can find them on my list. These are books that I have found particularly interesting and that kids really like, so I've saved them to my list. To remove them from your list, just push the remove button. Oh, you can also see them in the list view, which lets you see the grade level that it's appropriate for and about how long the book lasts. This one only takes about 3 minutes to read, not even. You can also search for a book. For instance, I know we have a really good book about a squirrel, so I can type in squirrel and say search, and it'll give me all the books about squirrels. One of my favorites is this one called Squirrel Me Timbers, about a pirate squirrel. So I could add it to my favorites list or read it right away. Lastly, you can look at the standard if you're trying to teach a particular thing. So you would choose that you want the New York State standards. This is every state. New York State. You could click your subject area. Maybe you want to learn more about math or science or social studies. I'll pick math. You can select a grade. I'll do grade 2. And you can search right away, or you could do a subsection like shape books. But I'm going to just see what we have here. And it says for this first New York State standards, we have 17 books, 14 books about adding and subtraction, etc., etc. So say I wanted my child to work on their adding and subtraction, I would click on that book and find a book about that so they can learn. Maybe this one, it's addition, and read from there. I guess it's thinking for a moment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video about how to read on myON and that you'll do some reading while you're out of school. All right, goodbye.